Okay. So the first thing we'll start with is the relationship between MP and MC. And the one thing you know is if MC is going down, MP is going up. They have an inverse relationship, and there's MP is going down, MC is going up. And that kind of makes sense, right? If your productivity is increasing, your cost should be decreasing. If your productivity is decreasing, your cost should go up. All right. All right. I just wanted to just quickly go over all these cost line. You won't, and you guys know from graphing, you don't see the AFC line. All right. Average variable cost is the green. It's always going to be below average total cost. The space in between them is average fixed cost. All right. And then you have average total cost. MC crosses AVC and ATC at its lowest. So there's MC crossing AVC at its lowest and ATC at its lowest. Where MC crosses ATC, we call that productively efficient. All right. And these are the cost curves we've been using in all our graphs. All right. Then you've got the law of diminishing marginal returns, right? And just remember, this is only applicable in the short run, all right? And you have stage one, where you have increasing marginal returns, and MP is rising, and total product is rising, all right? So we have marginal product on the bottom going up. We have total product going up, and again, it's due to specialization. The second phase is decreasing marginal returns. And decreasing marginal returns is MP is falling, but total product. So here in the yellow on the bottom, MP is falling, but it's still positive. So total product is going up. And you have fixed resources, so you might not have enough space, and each worker is doing less and less. And then you have the third, which is, obviously the worst stage, negative marginal returns. And here you have MP is negative, it's below the axes, and total product is decreasing. And this could be workers get in each other's way. All right. So again, that's the law of diminishing marginal returns. It's 3 stages. It's only in the short run. All right. In the long run, you have economies of scale in the LRATC. This is the long run average total cost curve. So you have economies of scale, which is output is increasing, average total cost is decreasing. All right. All right. And that's going on because you could buy in bulk, you could have specialization and things like that. In the middle is constant returns, all right? And that is, as output is increasing, average total cost is staying the same. And then the last one, you have diseconomies of scale. And in diseconomies of scale, as output is increasing, average total cost is also increasing, all right? So this is a long run, only in the long run, economies of scale, constant, and diseconomies. And if you have any questions, of course, as usual, just chat them in, okay? All right, we got the 4 market structures. Now, I think in the notes, if you're using the notes, I think I typed all these in. Now, I was looking at the test, and it seemed like you needed the characteristics, and we'll probably do some activity tomorrow where we look at characteristics, okay? And there is many small firms, I think thousands, identical products. Now, a lot of people got this wrong on redos. Perfect competition is identical products. Easy to enter and exit. The competitions are both easy to enter and exit. If you're easy to enter and exit, you know there's no long run profits or long run losses. No need to advertise because everyone has the same. Firms are price takers. And then you got monopolistic, oligopoly, and pure monopoly, and those are imperfect competition. All right, just remember that both the competitions, zero economic profits in the long run. All right, I think I put this in your notes, side-by-side graph, all right? MC equals MR on down. You got to have the dotted line, and, you know, because that shows you're a price taker, and there is your quantity, all right? So here you're making profits, right? Because price is above ATC. You're in the short run because in the long run, you cannot be making or losing money. I couldn't fit this in, but it's Mr. Daub. MR equals D equals, so marginal revenue equals demand equals average revenue equals price. That is really important to know in the word problems. They fool around by giving you like marginal revenue and then ask you, you know, the marginal revenue is 15. What is the total revenue? And you'd have to figure out price is 15. 15 times 8 is, I guess, 120. All right. The shutdown rule is price below the AVC. Price below the AVC. And why is that? Because if your price is between the AVC and the ATC, you're covering some of your fixed cost. Remember, that is fixed cost between the AVC and the ATC. But if the price is below and you're not covering any of the fixed costs, you might as well shut down. Right? Again, the short run is making or losing money here. The long run would be zero economic profit. And let's see, did I get us to the long run? Because here, firms would enter, and I think it's always good to remember that firms will enter when you're making profit. And so supply is going to shift right, number of sellers. I'm going to take that over, and we're going to go to zero economic profit. Zero economic profit, sometimes called normal profit, all right, also sometimes called break even. And there you are. Now, I'm just going to show you if there was an excise tax on the firm, all right, we would shift MC to the left, and ATC would move up here, all right? So now, if you had this excise tax, what would happen? You'd have a different MC equals MR, a different quantity. Price would stay the same because you're a price taker, but you would be losing money in the short run. All right. Of course, then firms would exit, supply would shift left to get you to the long run. Now, if it was a lump sum tax, all you'd have is the ATC shifting up. All right. If it was a lump sum tax, you have no effect on price or quantity. Let's see what else here. Just while we're here, in the long run, you're producing where MC crosses demand. That's allocatively efficient or socially optimal. MC crosses demand. You're also producing where MC crosses the ATC, which is productively efficient. So you're both productively and allocatively efficient here. All right. Know the graph. It's, again, especially for the FRQ, we're either doing perfect competition or monopoly. You saw today that you got 5 points for drawing the monopoly graph. So know these graphs. All right. There is your long run equilibrium. Notice that it's being made at the lowest ATC. That is productively efficient. And I pointed that out. All right. And there is allocative efficiency where MC crosses demand. So if there is if you're totally efficient in perfect competition, you're not going to have deadweight loss. You're going to have price above consumer surplus above the price, below demand, and producer surplus below the price, and above supply. Okay. I think that kind of covers the perfect competition part. Any questions on perfect competition before I move forward? Just giving a second if someone wanted to type something in. Okay. All right. I think I put the characteristics of a monopoly in your notes, but single seller. All right. The firm is the industry. That's why we only have one graph. Unique good with no close substitutes. What's going on here? All right. Price maker. That's why we go MC equals MR up to demand. High barriers to enter and exit. That means we're going to have profits in the long run. And then some non-price competition. All that means is advertising. Okay, so I'm going to just go back here for a second. Again, single seller, unique good, price maker, high barriers to enter and exit. So we're going to have economic profit or loss in the long run, some advertising. All right, here is your monopoly, D and MR, MC going up, MC equals MR is the profit, right? MC equals MR, the profit maximizer in every firm. You need to take it up to demand. All right. That, like on the multiple choice, there's 1 or 2 questions like that. You need to get that easy point. All right. MC equals MR up to demand. There's your price. All right. There's your quantity. You just go on the profit maximizing line to the ATC curve, and that is your profit box. All right. Remember, you only have DARP. Demand equals average revenue equals price. You only have DARP here because here's MR. Demand is greater than MR. Price, because demand equals average revenue equals price, is greater than MR. All right. Profit maximizer, I said, MC equals MR in all firms. All right. Monopolies produce in the elastic part of the curve. If I just took this, where MR is at its highest, is there. I go a straight line. That's unit elastic. To the left is elastic. And to the right is inelastic. All right. So you have that. Where MC crosses demand is, which is here, is allocatively efficient. All right, or socially optimal. They are the same thing. All right. It's also, if they said this is working like, well, no, I'll get to that. Allocatively efficient, socially optimal. So you're not producing where MC crosses demand. So you're not allocatively efficient. You're not socially optimal. Where MC crosses ATC is productively efficient. You're not producing there either, right? You're producing where MC equals MR at 5. So you're not allocatively efficient and you're not productively efficient. So therefore, if you're inefficient, you're going to have deadweight loss. All right. And then deadweight loss is the triangle, and I'll try to get to it here, is here. You take from your price down to your profit maximizer, up the MC curve, and then here. All right, so there is your deadweight loss. All right, like I said, your highest total revenue, where MR hits the axis. Now, if, they did an excise tax, MC to the left, ATC up. Lump sum, just ATC up. How about if they did a per unit subsidy? So then you'd have MC to the right. Okay. You'd have a new, right? MC equals MR. So you have a new quantity. You have to take this up to the demand curve, and you'd have a new price. So you'd have a new price and quantity. And then ATC would drop down. A lump sum subsidy, ATC just drops down. Okay. All right. That's pretty much a regular monopoly. Any questions on a regular monopoly? Okay. All right. Now, consumer surplus is the same graphing rules. We know, again, we have deadweight loss. Above the price, below demand is consumer surplus. Below the price and above supply is producer surplus. And the triangle is deadweight loss. John, I'm going to get to a natural monopoly. I think it's my next question, my next graph. Okay, so just wait on that. Evan, an excise tax would shift MC left, and then you're going to get a new MC equals MR, right? And ATC up. Does that make sense, Evan?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. And there is your deadweight loss. Okay. And we don't have an ATC here, but just because Evan was asking, an excise tax would get MC over here. I have a new MC equals MR. There would be my price. And there would be my new quantity. Okay. All right. Let's flip down. What do we got next? All right. Here we've got a natural monopoly. How do I know? And I think John was asking this. How do I know it's natural monopoly? Because ATC is downward sloping. Now, if the ATC is downward sloping, MC just has to be below ATC. Sometimes it could be a straight line, anything below ATC. Okay. And now you have your three regulated prices. The monopoly wants where MC equals MR up to demand, the profit maximizing. The public wants socially optimal or allocative efficient where MC crosses demand. The problem with where MC crosses demand here is the price, PR, is below ATC, and the monopoly would be losing money. And in the long run would have to exit. If you're thinking BG&E, you don't want to exit. So the government would have to subsidize that. So usually they go to fair return, which is zero economic profit, right? And that makes sense because your price is PF times QF, and then your total cost, because ATC is on that line, would be PF times QF. So it'd be zero economic profit. So you really do want to know these three spots: the profit maximizer, which you know, fair return, and socially optimal / allocative efficiency. They mean the same. All right. Again, if ATC is downward sloping, you know it's a natural monopoly. A natural monopoly like BGE is formed because one company better serves the market than like 2, 3, or 4 companies because of high fixed cost. Last thing, notice if ATC is consistently coming down, as output increases, if ATC is coming down, you have economies of scale. John, did that answer your question? Okay, good. All right. The next is, here is a monopoly. And truthfully, they usually give you this monopoly, and then they'll say, if it was a price discriminating monopoly, where would it produce at? Well, and I'll show you price discrimination in a second. Price discrimination has no MR. So it'd be demand equals MR. So I go to MC equals MR, and we produce here. All right. And that's pretty much price discrimination. Remember, no consumer surplus. Why? Because if people are willing to pay 30, they pay 30, willing to pay 60, they pay 60. No deadweight loss, because you're producing where it's allocatively efficient. Now I'm just going to take this and wipe out the MR curve. And there is your price discrimination. You have Mr. DARP again, MR equal demand equal AR equal P. Right where I put, right where MC equals MR is your quantity. Now you take that down to the ATC and across, and this is all your profit box. All right. So the four graphs you really need to know are side-by-side perfect competition, right? Natural monopoly, price discrimination, and really how to change it, okay? And monopoly. Because we're going to get to monopolistic competition. All right. And I think relatively not large number of sellers, differentiated products. Think fast food for this. Think fast food. All right. Someone's in the chat. John, why isn't it where ATC equals demand? I gotta go back to see what you mean. Are you John, were you talking about price discrimination? Okay. So, I mean, your profit maximizer is MC equals MR. All right. And if you went to ATC crossing demand, you would make a little less money. Like if you could just look at that, you wouldn't be maximizing your profit at that point. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So here is, again, easy to enter and exit. We know zero economic profit, lots of advertising. All right. Now, same graph as a monopoly, right? All right. I see price is greater than ATC. I know I'm making money. MC equals MR. I take it up the demand curve. PM is my price. I take it down to the ATC. That is my profit box, right? All right. My deadweight loss is there. MC equals demand, allocatively efficient or socially optimal. MC crosses ATC, productively efficient. All right. This is the same graph as a monopoly. The only difference is here. Firms are going to enter. All right. If firms enter because I'm making profits, people are going to try John's hamburgers and Joe's tacos, and that's going to hurt the demand in MR to Phil's pizza. So we're going to start here, a profit, and then what are we going to do? We're going to slide down to zero economic profit. Now remember, the ATC has to touch on the price. Okay. And just in the long run, from monopolistically competitive, where MC crosses ATC, if I take that down, I have excess capacity. Excess capacity is I could produce at QE if I was producing at productively efficient, but I am producing at Q3. All right. So the two things graphically you've got to remember about monopolistic competition is zero economic profits in the long run and excess capacity. All right. Otherwise, it's the same graph as a monopoly graph. All right. Any questions about monopolistic competition? Okay. I would also just know the characteristics because it seems, again, like they're asking a lot about characteristics. All right. New firms enter. We did this, right? All right. Oligopolies, characteristics, less than 10. Identical or differentiated products. High barriers to entry. That means you can make economic profit in the long run. Price makers, mutual. They love this mutual interdependence because that's why you do game theory. Okay. All right. Here is your game theory. All right. And there's like 3 questions on this. So I'm going to try to go through it. The blue is going to uptown. The white is going to high air. When I'm looking for uptown, I'm looking straight down. So rare air rather goes high. Uptown could go high and make 12, or low and make 15. They're going to go low. They want to make the most profit. Then rare air could go low. Uptown could go high and make 6, or low and make 8. Now, no matter what rare air does, uptown's going to go low. That's called a dominant strategy. All right. Now, if I look at rare air, I want to go this way. All right. So, if uptown goes high, rare air could go high in 12 or low in 15. I put an X in this box instead of a check to say what rare air should do. If uptown goes low, rare air could go high and make 6, or low and make 8. It's going to go low. Now, this is a case where both of the dominant strategies are low. If I have a check and an X and a square, that signifies Nash's equilibrium. What does Nash's equilibrium mean? There's no incentive to cheat. What do I mean by no incentive to cheat? That if one of these, rare air or uptown, changes their strategy to high, they'll end up making less money. Okay? All right. So you figure out a dominant strategy. I showed you like how to figure out Nash's equilibrium. And we have a question in the chat. Yes, Kevin, they sometimes could both have a dominant strategy. Sometimes one of them could have a dominant strategy. But in this one, they both have low. Okay. All right. And like I said, I think today there's 5 questions on oligopoly. There's 3 about like this. There's probably 1 about characteristics, like cartels and like stuff like that. Okay. And there's a couple of questions on the practice test about oligopoly. All right, there's the dominant strategy. Now, what would happen maybe in real life is I'd call Kevin up and say, low, let's go high and make 12. Now, notice at high, there's an incentive to cheat. Okay? Because If I go low and Kevin stays high, I'm making 15 and he's making 6. That's kind of the incentive to cheat. All right. We end up there. So 12-12 is the collusion, 8-8 is the dominant strategies. All right. All right. I think that's all we have. For collusion, it's a monopoly graph. All right. And just remember, collusion is like a cartel. All right. Any questions on anything we went over? So what I think I'm going to do Sunday night is a review with questions. All right. I would also check the key concept chart that I posted and do the practice quiz. I think if you do that, you'll be in good shape. I'll stick around for a minute to see if there's any questions. Otherwise, have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.